Welcome to Code to Enhance Learning Beginners Web Development video series. In this video series, we are learning about web development using HTML, CSS and JavaScript so that by the end of this video series, you will be able to create your own amazing website. So today we will be continuing with our third theme and the name of today's lesson is What is the Score? Which is going to be the last lesson for this theme as well as for this video series. In our video series, we have themes and we create a project about the theme, going to 3 to 4 different lessons and learning various concepts. So let me tell you more about the theme quiz application on which we are working right now. So at some point of time in our life, we have participated in interesting quizzes or maybe our teachers have taken quiz sessions in class to test what we have learned. Students are better at recalling and retrieving and applying new information after taking tests on it. However, for teachers, testing becomes tedious as checking paper and analyzing them takes time and energy. With the help of technology, this effort can be minimized a lot so that the testing helps the students to learn as well as is not overwhelming for the teachers. We will make a web application which will quiz other users in this theme. So this is how our web page is going to look like by the end of this video. Upon choosing a right option, it will show us you are awesome and our score will get increased by 1. When we click on the next button, it will direct us to question number 2. Next, when we choose a wrong option, it will show us, oh, you missed it, better luck next time, and it will subtract our score by 1. In the last lesson, we had learned about variables, input functions in HTML, and adding question in our page. So in today's lesson, we will change the question of the quiz once it's answered and increase or decrease the score if the answer is wrong or right. Seems interesting, right? Let's get into it. When you go on a website and a page loads on your browser, as soon as it loads, you might want to do something, for example, alert a message, pop up an image, etc. Let's see how we can create such an event with an onload attribute. Onload attribute fires when an object has been loaded. That is, when a particular element loads in our page, the attribute triggers some events to occur in our page, which in turn makes our page more user-friendly and efficient. In the example below, I want to show good morning message as an alert when the page loads. So, when the window loads, the onload attribute calls the start function, which alerts good morning in the alert box. So now that we know about the JavaScript onload attribute, we will try to change the question in our quiz application. Let's go. So this is how our page from the previous lesson looks like. As you can see, this only has one single question and there is no next question and nothing happens on clicking the next button. So let's add another question to our web page. So this is the code to my web page from the previous lesson, as you might already know. So let us start by declaring a new variable q underscore num, which stands for the question number, which we will initially set to 1. That is the first question will be shown upon loading the web page. Next up, we declare the onload attribute and set it to call the function change question, which we are going to define just after this. Now let's declare our function that we will use to change our question, and we are going to name it change QUE. Now inside the function, we are going to pass the condition statement if, and we are going to set the condition to be when the question number is 1, our page will display the first question, which is what is the capital of India. So as we have set the question number by default 1, so when our web page will load, it will show us the first question. Now similarly, we are going to pass another if statement for when the question number is 2, and inside that statement we are going to create another question. And this time we are going to ask the user what is the capital of Pakistan. And let the first option be Karachi, the second option be Lahore, the third option be Islamabad, and similarly the fourth option should be Rawalpindi. And then we will set the correct answer to be Islamabad because that's the capital of Pakistan. Now inside our function, we are going to access our next button using the document.getElementById method. and set its background color to be gray so that before the user answers the question by choosing the option, the background color of the button will be displayed gray to the user, which implies that the user cannot yet access the next button. Now just after our function to check the answer is passed, we are going to increment the question number by 1 so that when one question is answered, it can move to the next question and the next question will be displayed on our page. Next, we again use the document.getElementById function to access our next button and change its background color to green once the question is answered so that the user knows that once the question is being answered, they can move to the next question. Now we are going to head into our next button and inside the opening tag, we are going to pass the onClick attribute and pass the change question function inside the onClick attribute so that upon clicking the next button, our page moves to the next question. So now in my web page, when I choose an option after alerting, the next button turns green and we successfully move to the second question. So next up, I have a very interesting practice task for you guys. So just pause the video right here and what I want you to do is open your saved file, write a program to change the question when the first question is answered. Go ahead. So now that you are done with the task, let's move on with our lesson. Operators in JavaScript. Operators in programming languages such as JavaScript are used to perform particular predefined operations like sum of two numbers, etc. We are using operators in making our theme and we will use it more further. Let's learn about some of the operators in JavaScript. JavaScript operators are used to assign values, compare values, perform arithmetic operations, and more. Different types of JavaScript operators are JavaScript arithmetic operators, assignment operators, logical operators, comparison operators, and JavaScript string operators. Now let's go ahead in our lesson and learn about these operators we use in JavaScript. Arithmetic operators, as the name suggests, these type of operators in JavaScript are used to do arithmetics of numeric functions. Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic between two variables or values. For example, addition is an arithmetic operator which is used to add the operand. Following is a program to add two numbers using the addition operator. Here we declare two variables and assign them to numeric values and pass the sum of the two variables in a function using the addition operator and then it is alerted. Similarly, there are other arithmetic operators as you can see in the given table here. The subtraction, division and multiplication operators do the respective function as the name suggests. The increment operator increases the value of a variable by 1 and the decrement operator decreases the value of a variable by 1. Now, next on we move to the assignment operator. Assignment operators are used to assign values to a function or a variable. For example, in the piece of code below we can see the assignment operator is equal to is being used to define a value to the variable x and the variable y. In the table given here, there are many more examples of assignment operators we use in our HTML page, which you can always pause the video and go through. Up next, we have the logical operators in JavaScript. The logical operators are used to implement logics such as and, or, and not in JavaScript. Logical operators are used to determine the logic between variables or values. These type of operators are mainly used in conditional statement in JavaScript. For example, in the given table here, the first operator is called the AND operator and the condition given here is the value of x should be less than 10 and the value of y should be greater than 1. So here we can see our value of x is 6 and the value of y is 3 which meets the condition, so the return is true. Similarly, you can go through the rest of the logical operators in the list and try to figure out if our condition would be true or not. Next we move on to our comparison operator. Comparison operators in JavaScript. These type of operators are used to compare two variables or compare a variable with a number. Comparison operators are used to determine the equality or the difference between the variables or values. For example, the equal to operator checks whether two entities such as a variable has the same value or not. The value of x let's consider to be 5 in the first condition which says if the value of x equals 8 returns false whereas the next condition which says the value of x equals 5 returns true. In the same way, you can check the rest of them and try guessing which one will return false and which one will return true. By now we have learned many types of operators in JavaScript. Let's see how much you guys are able to remember. Given below is a piece of code that checks if 20 and 5 both are positive number or not using the assignment, logical and comparison operator. Here I have highlighted some of the operators present here. Can you recognize them? If you can, open your notebook and write what type of operators they are. Go ahead. So I hope you got the answers right. The first one is equal to, which is an assignment operator, and the second one is the double and sign, which is a logical operator. It's an AND gate. So I hope you are done with it. Let's move on with our lesson. String operators in JavaScript. Some of the operators are used with string as well, such which performs tasks as joining two strings, etc. Let's learn about them. The plus operators can be used to concatenate two strings. Concatenation is a process of joining two independent strings together to form a larger independent string. The most common operation performed with string is concatenation. As you can see in the given example, we would combine the strings Incredible and India into a new string called Incredible India. The plus operator is used in the process of concatenation. That is when the plus operator is placed between two strings that help us to join those two strings, that is concatenate those two strings. So now that we are done with operators in JavaScript, so let's see how we can implement it in our web page. So pause the video right here, and what I want you to do is program a simple web page to check the number entered by the user is odd or even and positive or negative. The web application should give the answer in the following manner through an alert window. Given number is odd or even and positive or negative. This is how a page should be looking like. In this input field, we have to type our number, say 5, and the alert box should show the number is odd and positive. Now if I type, say, -6, it shows the number is even and negative. Now go ahead and make your own website. We will now use our learning about operators and concatenation to show the score and increase and decrease them as per the answer of the question. As you can see already, we have created a div tag and a paragraph tag to store our score. Now let's see how we can add score inside it. Now let's declare another variable called score and initially set the value of the score to 0. So now each time we choose a correct option, our score gets incremented by 1. Similarly, upon choosing an incorrect option, our score gets decremented by 1. Next up, we are going to use our document.getElementById function to access our paragraph where we will be storing our scores using the inner HTML attribute in this way and set it to display the message score followed by the actual score of the user in the quiz. Now let's see how it looks in our web page. So now when we choose the correct option, our score gets increased by 1, and then when we choose the wrong option, it gets decreased by 1. So as you can see, our quiz application works perfectly. Next up, we have a very interesting practice task for you guys. So pause the video right here, and what I want you to do is open your saved program, write the program to increase or decrease the score if the answer given by the user is correct or incorrect respectively. Also, show the update score on the screen. Go ahead. So I hope you are done now. Now let's move with our quiz section. So now we are at the end of this lesson. By now you must be in a position to solve this question. Here goes the first question. Go for it. So I hope you got the answer correctly. The answer to question number 1 is option D. Now here goes the second question for you. Go for it. I hope you got the answer right. The right answer to question number 2 is option B. So this will be the end of our third theme, guys. With this, we have come to the end of our video series. Hope this video series has helped you in developing a basic concept regarding web development. For more such amazing content, subscribe to Code to Enhance Learning and press the bell icon. So I am Rishabh from Code to NS Learning signing off for today. Thank you.